Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. We have another session today, and I have the help from Navasit because it's easier for me if somebody asks questions that I'm not getting lost. So we talk about illness, and this is the third video we have on illness in total to get through that you really understand what illness is. And I'm not coming here from a physical perspective. This is very important to say. Because we are talking more about the spiritual aspect of illness and not so much the physical aspect of illness.
Okay, so my question is, the battle against illness can be won in the way of fighting disease. So what is happening?
You know, once we understand that illness is a teacher and has a role in our life, then if we battle against illness, it doesn't make sense. You don't battle your teacher. You try to understand it. And see, this is the approach of Western and allopathic medicine, is to fight everything. And you can see also in the words, there is a lot of fight. There is inflammation, flame, fire, flame. And we come to the symptoms exactly a little bit later. But this is very important to understand that a symptom is pointing you towards the direction of healing. So if you fight the symptom, and we talked about that last time already, like if the freezer has the red light blinking, you can just pull out the red light, but then the freezer inside is kaput. So the same is with the illness. If a pain is like a red light blinking that want to tell us something that we need to pay attention. And then we have to start to look into the topic of the illness, and not like academic medicine looks only at the physical symptoms. And then they look at the chemistry of the body, and then they look what chemically they can do to interact with these symptoms. And maybe if you're lucky, they go a step further at what happened lately, that they start to realize that emotional, mental state of a person has also something to do with illness. And then but still they are treated one-sided. You can also, an emotional problem, you cannot treat with chemical remedies. Of course, you can calm down a body or induce sleep or whatever, but this never will resolve the problem. So eventually, if we only push symptoms around, there is no healing, and one symptom is just then replacing another one. And I think one of the most significant symbols we have in like is asthma and allergy. So for example, you have asthma, you go to the doctor and the doctor gives you a certain remedy. And then after a while, the asthma is gone, but then it takes maybe half a year or 3-4 months, and suddenly you have rashes in your body, you have eczema or other stuff. Then the doctor gives you another remedy and then goes away. And half a year later, you have asthma. So we can see that the topic of asthma and allergy is in a way the same, and it just pushes one away and then the other one comes and it goes forth and back. Because it is both a topic, we will go when we talk about the topic of the illness more closely about that, but this is not the solution. We will never find a solution to illness, any illness on the physical level. You can never find a solution to the problem on the same level where the problem is. You always have to go higher, to look from above and then look down and look at the connections. So we can find the path towards healing. So the body shows symptoms because the human need to get the message. And again, it's a teacher.
So you mean that the illness is our teacher?
Yes.
Yeah. If the academic approach can heal, so what is happening and why are the symptoms not going away?
Yeah, that's again, the symptoms cannot go away as long as the problem is not resolved, right? When we think about it, as I said, that our path in life, like what our astrology chart shows is the curriculum, no? And the curriculum shows us also we can, for example, learn mathematics or anything with many different materials. You can, when you have a child, you can put 5 nuts in front of it and add another 5 nuts, and the child learns 5 and 5 is 10. But you can use many other ways to do that too. So generally the topic is to learn mathematics or to learn writing or to learn whatever. You have many ways how to learn it. And this is the same in our life. So the curriculum that we have gives us the topics that we need to look at in lifetime, and there is nothing set. That means nothing. This is like, I just had a discussion with somebody about the Vedic Indian astrology. I tried to say, because I know the approach of Indian Vedic astrology is that they lay out your life like everything is written already. Then you go to school, then you meet a friend, then you meet this, then you are sick, then you get married, then you get divorced, stuff like that. And this is not right. This is a possibility, but this is not like it really happened. And so when we say that the curriculum of life is just like a path that is possible, so we can go here and here and here. We don't need to be exactly here on the main line. But if we go too far away here, this is like our energy also. This is our energy source. So this is okay to go around, like maybe in this frame, all the energy is fine. But if we go too far away, then meet into complete different topics, then we don't have the life energy enough anymore. And if we don't have enough energy, we know now, since we know that our body is energy, we know that we don't have enough energy. So that's what is happening. So I mentioned the allergy asthma symptoms before. This is a very typical sign. Or also different headaches and things. It's like one day you have headache, next day you have problem with the stomach, then you have headache again. It's all the same topic. You cannot digest life anymore, and you think too much about it, and you don't find solutions. You can, of course, you can take a painkiller, but that again does not solve the problem. So no healing process can happen in reality until the symptom becomes meaning and the energy flow is balanced. So once we understand the symptom has a meaning. Oh, okay, I have done this or I have done that, or I'm allergic to strawberries, for example, because I cannot enjoy life. I have a problem with enjoying life. So the sweet things of life. So your body creates an allergy against something sweet as a symptom that you can look at, that you have a problem with sweetness. Or you can have a dust allergy or cat allergy or whatever. And it is, look at the topic. What does a cat represent? What is it? It is the fierceness of the cat, but also the softness, the aspect of tenderness in a way. So you have to look at that topics within yourself. Where do you have a problem?
I see.
And so once you understand the problem, the allergy doesn't need to be there anymore and will go away automatically.
Okay. It means like you pass the exam.
Yeah, you can say that. So you have learned a lesson, you passed the exam, and you can go a step further. So always look at the changes that the illness also requires from people. Like, for example, you manifest the body, you're coughing, no? So what does that require? What does it mean? First of all, coughing is very much like barking. Coughing is quite aggressive, right? So people very often cough because they are not allowed to say their truth. Yeah. They're not allowed to speak out their truth, or they're afraid to speak out their truth. They're afraid to get attention. So the lung has something to do with communication. So it comes out the coughing, that you kind of bark at people to get your attention.
So same as the sneezing.
Yeah. So yeah, and you know, the last few years there was a lot of barking around, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. I got it.
And this has also something to do with cowardness. You are a coward. You're not saying your truth. Oh, your body makes you.
How about the nose running?
Yeah, the nose. Think about it. The nose has something to do with smell. You cannot smell anybody anymore, smell anything anymore. So your nose is running. It means that we have this goes in the same direction as allergy.
Okay.
And then we have, for example, right now, very often the nose is running when you have a pollen allergy, for example. And pollen is connected. What is pollen? And then the bees and the pollen is coming at the end. We end up in sexuality, the topic of sexuality. And that again, here we come with the running nose, and then we with the eyes, we have eye like also tears, and in the case you have a flu or something like that. This is, I just cannot see the world anymore. I have enough. I need a break. And that's exactly what the symptoms allow you to get a break. Because if you're coming coughing and your nose is running, your eyes are tearing, the boss tells you just go home and don't give that to everybody here too. So I want my staff still healthy. So don't spread it. So go home, stay home. All very hot topics in the moment, but this is very, very clear about that. And the moment you're alone, you're at home, you have to look at yourself. You're supposed to look inside and figure out what happened. But since we don't even think about it, that illness could be a teacher, we are so brainwashed from the academia that we have to do that chemical remedy stuff, that people are lost. They are simply lost, and it's not getting better.
So yeah. So it means that the illness, the law of the illness is a teacher, our teacher.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And if we don't listen to the teacher, we have to experience consequences. So see, illness actually is deeply rooted in humanity. It is part of our life. It is not part of something we need to fight, but part we need to learn to deal with. And we have to see that many people actually choose illness to learn, because this is a fast track.
Okay.
Like, for example, children, very often, these children illnesses, we have the measles and stuff like that. And this is very important that a child goes through this illness, because every time when a child goes through an illness, it makes a jump forward. It's a teaching. It is a jump forward. It's part of the growing up. It has to go through pain, through illness. And even as a child, it's not conscious yet. But you can observe, at least I did in my time, we still went through all this. I had measles, I had all this children illness. That every time afterwards, it's like you have a push, or even you physically grow in this time, like a couple centimeters or something like that. And then the body needs the respite, and the fever. The fever is actually doubling the speed of the blood going through the body. With every degree it's doubling. That means that something is happening in your body, and that illness is actually the healing part that you need. You need to have that fever to have the changes happen, to burn the bacteria or whatever is in your body that you don't need, and the body does it by itself. So illness shows us that we are no longer in harmony, in order with our life's journey, and the energy flow, like when you grow up as a child, like you say 5 years old, you cannot stay 5 years old. So an illness might come in to give you a push that you can move forward faster.
You mean can step further, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It means that when we take a rest in the hospital or in our house, it seems like we have to, we kind of to contemplate ourselves.
That would be the ideal part of it, because you go through certain illness, through certain pain, and pain is also not something we should fight against. If you surrender to the pain goes away.
But if someone just stay but don't contemplate, what it means that they didn't learn about the illness, right? They didn't learn.
Yeah, but that's where humanity is at. Look at the people. I mean, people are absolutely flabbergasted when they, everybody's taking medicine. What do you take? They take nothing. Oh, you're so old and you're not taking medicines. And no, I don't. I have a few supplements I take and vitamins or so, but that's it. And I try whenever I can that I go into homeopathy, because that requires you to look at what is the meaning of your illness. And homeopathy gives you an information. And the body reacts on the information and not on any chemical remedy.
So we have to see the objective of the illness. Something like that. Yeah,
you can even say you have to look at illness as a friend, who is helping you to evolve. As a child to grow up, to evolve further, to show you when you are off your life path, to help you to come back to your true life path.
And learn from the symptom, what the meaning of the symptom.
Yes.
And then look back in our life and contemplate it.
Yes.
And one more question about the in terms of illness, do we include the accident?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
when someone got the accident, they have to stay in the hospital too.
Yeah. You are at the wrong place at the wrong time. That means you're not aligned with your life purpose again. We also know from astrology there are certain accident constellation. But here again, let's make that the Vedic astrology, they say you have an accident, bang. But when you look really at the stars, you have many different options. If you are completely close to your life purpose, you might have an accident. But if you are a person who meditates and who is spiritually very much aligned, you may have an experience of enlightenment. This is the same constellation. So it depends very much how you approach your life and how you look at things again. And if you have an accident, it means that you have not followed your, for example, intuition, and you're at the road at the wrong time, and then.
Okay, I see. So it means that illness is our guide anyway.
Yeah, that's it. We come to that again and again, huh?
And is it possible for a human being to reach a state of oneness?
To reach a state of oneness as a human, in a physical world, is not possible because we live on polarity. We are living within polarity where we have always, like, for example, a shadow. We can refer to oneness, but we cannot really imagine it. We can be there sometimes in a deep meditation. I have experienced that but this is something that you cannot describe in words anymore. That is that state of beingness where you have no more time, no more anything. It's more like the only thing you can explain is maybe even floating, but I was not even breathing anymore for a while. And somebody afterwards came and shake me. They thought I'm gonna die, but I was far away. It was like when I came back, it was like my heart raced like crazy because the state was interrupted, but everything in my body was absolutely in perfect harmony. And you can go there in a very deep meditation. But again, this happens. And it happened actually when I did it. It was a rebirthing exercise with breathing when I was there. And very often, sometimes when you visualize and you go maybe into your temple or whatever, and you go very deep and you're very immersed, and your breathing slow down a lot, you go down not just into the alpha state, but even further down. That is a possibility that you will experience that. And I think everybody has, in fact, experienced similar things, but most people don't remember when they come back. So the state of oneness, we can be there also not too long, because we need then to come back. That's right, because we need to maintain our body. If I would have stayed there maybe another hour or whatever, I would have died. But this would be, for example, a death that you more or less consciously leave your body. You're ready. And that would be the death of an enlightened person, when you consciously leave the body. This is not leaving the body through an illness or through an accident or in a hospital. And when we have also, if you dig a little bit, Native Americans also, and other cultures in Tibet and other people, they, for example, they knew exactly, now it's time for me to die. And some of them, they went up in a cave and they sit in a position, meditate, and leave the body within meditation. So that would be the enlightened death. But this also, it can also be that you, like, for example, from a karmic aspect, I remember that I read a book that was called The Red Lion. It was something about the elixir of immortality. Very interesting book. And in the very first book, this is that young guy who killed his master eventually. But then he goes through many incarnations till he became actually the wise man. And his last death was his disciple killed him. Even if he had reached the end and he knew it, and he knew already that this guy was coming and kill him, and he didn't fight against it because he knew that was his last karma.
Okay, but
so,
he can leave his body before he was
yeah,
killed.
he wasn't completely balanced yet. So
okay.
you cannot be free of incarnations when you're not completely balanced. And he knew that this is the last karma that he has, and he let this other guy kill him. And through killing his master already, he went into a journey, and he stole that life, that elixir of immortality. He couldn't die. And it was a very, very interesting. I don't know if it's in English too. I read it many years ago in German. That's a really good book. I will figure out if I can find that. So we talk, but let me just finish here. When we talk about oneness, already our breath is the basic experience of polarity, the constantly alternation of positive, negative, of breathing in and breathing out. And that already indicates that me, as a physical being, never can be in oneness.
Never can be in oneness.
I can experience oneness for short moments. That is more or less leaving the body.
And come back to the body.
But if I want to maintain the body and have to go further on through life, because I have now balanced my karma, I usually come back and go on. But every time when you experience oneness, a moment like that, your life changes massively, because you have experienced something what the mind cannot comprehend, and that is changing your life.
Okay, can you explain again? One more.
When you have an experience of oneness, once, then you come back in the body, you breathe again, you're here again, you had an out-of-body experience. That will totally change your life.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you heard about many people who had, they call near-death experience, which is actually wrong, because they were dead. It was a death experience, not near-death. Even they came back, and you know, Anita Morchani is one of those ladies. She was like 40 or whatever minutes dead and came back, and she completely changed her life, and then found through this very intense experience, she found then her spiritual path, and is a helper for many people today.
I see. So I just got some question. So it means that if we align in the our pathway, or I always do like a meditation and look in my side, so it means that I cannot be the illness.
No,
right?
That's not right, because you can still choose illness as a teacher.
Okay. But
because you learn fast, you know, once you create, your body creates a symptom, and you understand that the symptoms want to tell you something, and you look at the symptom, then you learn very fast. Like, for example, you talk about running noise. So when do you have a runny noise? When is it that your nose is reacting? Is it, for example, when somebody comes in your life, certain person, or is it a certain time of the year, like with the pollen or whatever? Or is it, look at the situation when that comes, and then look what is happening around you, and then look at what do I need to learn from this lesson, or what does that person want to tell me? Why don't I want to smell that person, or whatever it is, you know? Or why do I bark at this person?
At that moment.
Yes.
I see. And when you mention about the karmic, does the illness can come from the karmic?
Yes, it can come from past lives. You know, I mean, we are now in the moment of time, we are now at the point where we are supposed to drop our karma to move into a higher dimension, because in a higher dimension, our karma from 3D cannot be taken with us. So what we have to do is to balance. And therefore, this is why some people have very difficult lives. Because they said, okay, whatever it costs, I want to make it to move in the 5D. Just give it all to me. And some people, they have a lot of problem, also physical, but that's fine. That's a teaching. So don't judge. Of course, when we look afterwards into the symptoms, we can see afterwards much clearer what is happening to a person. Like, we can already see with the eyes, the nose, mouth, stomach, so it's very obviously, but when we dig a little bit deeper, we can see very clear. And if you have a therapist who can help you, a coach who can help you to go through the illness, that is a real help, and not just moving around any symptoms.
Okay.
And the illness is part of the teaching. It's many other things are too. You know, it's not just illness, but illness is one of the very major teachers.
Okay.
And therefore, we are very clear about not to judge. And I want to show you quickly a picture that about the polarity that we are in. And I want to ask you, what do you see here in this picture?
The two person.
Okay. See, a lot of people, they see a cup.
A cup? Oh, okay. A vase. Yeah.
So it depends. If you focus on black, you see two faces. If you focus on white, what actually most people come first with the cup, then it's a cup. And this is polarity. This is not, both exist at the same time. You have the picture with two This is polarity. But you can, at one point, you focus only at one. You can see both. But if you look really with your eyes, with your mind, you can see only one at a time. Either you look at the faces or you look at the cup.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is our life. This is the base of polarity. And again, polarity has nothing to do with good and bad. Good and bad is duality. Duality is where you judge. And this is why it is so important when we go also through illness, whatever, that you don't judge. But you can see clearly, for example, also when people die, how they die, you can see very clearly what happened in the last part of their life. And you can see also at the expression of their faces if they made it to move through or not.
Okay. Oh.
Yes. Oh, and two, right. So this is good. We are existing kind of in a program that is based like the computer programs on a binary system, polarity. And we are here for experience, to move forward. And we have been playing very, very, very long in a very low frequency. And the time has come that we are in the process of moving forward. And that's why we need to balance, we need to clear the 3D karma so we can move up to the higher dimension.
That's the last question. I just come up with, if mostly people, they work hard, right? Because they want to get some money.
Yeah.
If someone they have to work hard and then they got sick because they work hard, they don't have a time to sleep.
Yeah.
But they have a problem with the financial, the struggle with the financial. They have like a debt to pay for the bank. And if they want to balance, because they don't have time to take a rest, so but they have to pay the bank as also. So how can they balance the life?
Well, I mean, say, for example, some people, they live in a very rich house or whatever, but they have everything on debts. So they maybe have to give out and start at the scratch again. So you declare bankruptcy. Very simple. Let me give you a sample from that just came up about somebody who was writing a program. And this guy kind of started to be tired of it because he wasn't so successful as he thought. And he started to work, to go into crypto. And he made a lot of money with crypto, millions, in fact. And but the people who bought his program, he didn't take care of them anymore. And he did not update his program. People paid money for the program, and he did not follow up what actually that program was supposed to help people in their life, and was giving the people something. And some people even put in their life works, and he didn't do anything. And you know what happened? After a few years, he had liver cancer and died.
Oh. I see.
And he has now a widow who is very rich, but he doesn't have anything anymore of his money. Okay. So this just as a sample, and something happened. And if you're in a situation like that, then okay, give up everything and start at the scratch. That's it. If you can, everybody can. And I just had experienced a young man here who also gave everything up he had, and he start now with electroculture. He start his little farm and start to work up, and he's very happy.
Yeah. Happy with him too.
Exactly, and that's the point. Okay, so and in the next video we go really now into the symptoms, and I will give you the path, like symptoms come from like not so bad till lethal. What happened, how we move to that point. So that's what we do in the next video.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. That was it. Thank you everybody for listening. I hope you like it and give us a thumbs up, and we meet soon again.
Okay, see you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.